Hello everybody, welcome to the Middleton Nighttime broadcast version 3.0. But yes, welcome. So, for anyone who's wondering, this is a podcast with a demographic audience mainly geared towards high school students going into college, current college students, and people like me who have graduated and are currently starting their lives. And to be, I would say, my pretty standard co-host, I have my friend Ricky here. Ricky, do you want to introduce yourself for posterity's sake and anything you want to plug?
Hi, I'm Ricky. I am the unofficial co-host. Probably official by this point. We've recorded like 18,000 podcasts and have deleted all of them. You can find me on Stinkfox on YouTube. I play a lot of dumb games.
Yep, and I mean, if you guys want, I will be at the end of this video as well as in the description. We'll have links to Ricky's first stream.
Thank you.
So, you guys can check it out. But I do want to explain why, if you guys are having deja vu, for any of you that have seen the actual first episode of the last version of this, let's just say, it could have been done, it could have stayed up. But currently, with the way things have evolved, because you guys have to remember, if any of you have seen it, if you have not, that original video went up in February. And
like the week before shit got real.
Yeah, like, if you guys want to understand this, we have essentially gone through, like, 2020 New Game Plus only within the past, like, 5 months.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that were said, they weren't, like, gonna get Ricky and I canceled. It was just now, like, in poor taste to keep it up. As well as the medium in which we were doing with PNG tubers, me syncing it up, and back then me balancing doing that while also already having a art Instagram,
Well,
college, and getting a job. I didn't have the time.
it also seemed kind of a little weird. Like, here's these cute little PNG tubers talking about horrific world events.
Yeah.
A little like, oh yeah, there's a war going on. Oh woo.
Now you guys just have a lovely, well, still image. I might make it a GIF of just like coffee cups. Because my idea with this, which if I do this right, you guys are probably seeing this. It's literally going to be Ricky's persona, Rick, and me. Literally just hands holding tea glasses that are going to fade into shadows for.
Oh, that's perfect. That'd look good on a shirt.
Yeah, that's all I wanted because it gives some more, what would be, not anonymous, but anonymity to like how Ricky and I actually look. Though, to be honest, if you look hard enough anywhere, you probably find us. But
yeah,
trust me,
my face reveal is no secret. It's out there.
But it's like, don't worry, we're nothing crazy. We're gorgeous looking people.
We're so hot that we have to hide our identities, or we'll make you too excited. I'm also trying to be PG. Very hard.
We also look like handsome Squidward.
Yes, we all have chiseled chins, giant abdominal. Wait, not abdominal. Whatever, craniums. That's the word.
Oh,
abdominals. Yeah, we have huge abs.
But if you guys want to know, also another reason why we, well, collectively after deciding, I got rid of the first episode is because, well, Ricky and I were very excited to record that episode. I have a job now, and I'm the face of a company. Not that I think my job would ever find my podcast, but the amount of swear words that were used in that episode, I counted one time while listening to it. It was at least 80 in total over the course of the hour between both of us.
Wow.
So Ricky and I are going to try to think a little bit before we say. If anything does pop out of our mouth, I don't know. I'll decide if I want to bleep it or just that small section of audio. But yeah, that's really it. There's nothing really deeper than that about why the first episode is gone, and this is the brand new first episode. But I hope you guys will enjoy this, and even though Ricky and I are like very busy, we will try to maybe do this once a month, just because we both have jobs, and they're both two types of jobs that leave us very, very little time to record.
Mentally tired too.
You know what's funny? Just speaking on that, every single time because I get off my job at 5:30 p.m.
Oh, wow.
After I get off, I get that euphoria of like, oh my god, yes, I'm done. 9 o'clock hits, and I'm like, oh, I want to be up all night. 30 minutes later, I want to sleep. That's all I want.
That's the same. Like, after I get off at 5, there's about an hour ride home. By the time I'm home, showered, took care of my animals, I sit down. All right, time to play video games. Time to stream. Time to do all this stuff. Man, I'm tired. I just want to go sleep, bro.
It is how it is. You hate it though because you want to do so much stuff.
Oh, your brain's active, but your body's like, all right, I gotta sleep. And you don't want to push yourself because then your job will feel the end of it. You don't want to do that.
Well, have you also ever had the thing of you fought sleepiness, now you've gotten your second win, and you can't go to bed?
Oh, no.
I did that. It was Thursday night last week. I essentially was like gearing up to go to bed. I was on stream with my friend Inu because he started a little bit early. I was like on there from like 8:30 to 10. And immediately, I was like, as soon as 9:30 hit, I was kind of doing that thing of I was helping him with the dungeon. And like, you probably even remember this, like being in school or just some hard days. You start doing the dozing off, and your head like slowly goes down. And you snap back up, and you're like,
"Oh yeah,
what happened?" I was doing that while fighting a boss.
Oh no.
It was the most stressful thing to do. Play 14, fight a boss, and you're also fighting sleep. So, yeah. But I guess what we'll do, which was something I really liked from a previous version of the podcast, was Ricky and I will have an icebreaker, kind of catching you guys up on our personal lives before we go into the theme of this episode, which Ricky extended, which is we're going to be going on 90s and early 2000s nostalgia since I was born in 1998. I don't have much of the 90s stuff besides like some TV shows, some music, and some movies. So I guess you know what, Ricky? I think I kind of have a way we could kind of catch people up.
Okay.
On with this icebreaker is, how about trying to leave out a lot of the dumb stuff because I'm pretty sure everyone in the world probably knows about all the dumb stuff. But let's try to catch people up from February of when we recorded the very first episode.
Oh wow.
To kind of now. We can obviously summarize it, but if I'm gonna say much, like for anyone who doesn't know, I've been in college for 5 years. Which sounds nuts. But I've been in college for 5 years, and now I am currently going through training at my current job. And I love it. The first week was freaking terrifying because they throw everything in the kitchen sink at you.
But I knew you could do it. I told you. Once you get your footing, going forward, it's easy.
Oh, I mean, it's been great. I think a lot of people now, because my entire life, whether it was Adobe stuff, whether it was just learning video editing for YouTube, whatever, I had to physically mess with a program and have a few exercises to basically get everything. Mm-hmm. But you know what the hardest thing is to do is when you get a job, is when the job tells you, trust the process. That is the hardest thing to do. But I have, along with, we lost about 5 people who got really intimidated the first week and didn't think that they were going to be able to keep up.
Oh no.
So our team went down, but it's actually made things a little bit more interpersonal because, you know, smaller group.
Right.
You can get people to focus on stuff more. But besides that, yeah, I honestly can't say. When I was in college, I wasn't really doing much. Like I would come on, like I would join Ricky for, like our Discord group. I would join mine for my friends streaming, college. But a lot of, as you guys know, between February and now, a lot of just, you know, bad after bad, but also good after good. But the good doesn't get talked about as much as the bad has happened. So honestly, a lot of people have been just doing stuff that makes them happy and is safe right now. And that's at least on my end. Ricky, I don't know if you have anything personable, projects, all that stuff that you want to say, because you also like release an album.
Oh my gosh, since February, I probably did. Let me check on that real quick. Yes, I released an album, Songs to Vibe To, or Not, which was more of an EP, I guess. Just some songs, a little compilation of songs that I wanted to get out there. I think going forward, I'll release more singles. What else happened? I think I had just seen my boyfriend for the second time in person.
Yes.
Which was awesome. I've gotten 2 major dental work done since then, which is freaking scary. I'm actually getting one of the biggest, most extreme ones done this Thursday. After that, I should be golden. It's just a little filling here and there, and then some braces, and I'm gonna have good teeth. So that's what's going on this week, which by the time everyone hears this, should have already been done. So, hopefully it went well. I think it will, though. It's just a retouch up of what other people did. Having a root canal redone, basically.
They better numb you up to gods.
They probably will, but also, because I already had the root canal done, I don't think I have a nerve in there, because from what they told me last time before getting the procedure done, they said, you have an infection in there, and if you could feel anything, you'd be screaming and wailing in unbearable pain. We think your nerve was taken out. And I was like, oh, thank God. But also kind of bad, because I could have had a horrible infection and not known. So basically is what happened. I'm on antibiotics. I'm fine now. So that's why they're going to go in, fix it up, and hope that the infection stays away, which it should. I don't know. I think it's like some kind of bones left in there that they didn't take out. It's something weird like that. It's really stupid.
Could have been like an infected part of the hooks of the tooth that connect to the root.
Yes. I think it like spread to the bottom. I don't know. They're probably just going to take it all out. I'm assuming they're just going to take out the roots so that there's nothing there. They're going to put a bridge attaching to one of my, as they call it, a virgin tooth, and then basically cover the whole area, so it's just perfectly fine. Well, it's going to be false teeth, but it's just easier. I'd rather have it done that way. But yeah, that's happening. Sauce and I, my boyfriend, internet name, are going to try to move him down, hopefully by October. That's a big thing that has occurred. We're just kind of done with the randomness of life. Try not to swear.
It's so hard.
Yeah. Well, it's a challenge for me. My whole life, I just kind of use slang words and this and that because it's convenient. But unknowing to everyone online, I used to be very, very good at grammar and English and top of my class. Once I graduated, I said, forget that. I want to talk like how I want to talk. And then swearing up a storm, slang words, abbreviations. So it's kind of nice to try and be intelligent. But yeah, that's what's been going on. Wow, February.
I know. Isn't it also weird to think that February was when I cut all my hair off?
Oh my gosh. You had a lion's mane.
Well, you know what? It makes me sad because a part of me, for anyone wondering, if no one's ever seen a picture of me with long hair, I'll pop up 2 pictures just on screen very fast. I don't know, let's just say the left one will be me with long hair, the right one will be me, like, I'll probably take it after stream, like today, it's what I look like. There were so many fun benefits and side effects to having both of these hairstyles. With the long hair, I didn't have to do anything, but I had to wash it every 2 days. With this hair, it doesn't get as oily as fast, but if you don't style it, it looks like dog water. So there are, the caveats, but I also did find out from one of my sister's friends who is a cosmetologist, my hair plateaus at my shoulders. It will not go any further unless I take vitamins or supplements. Consistently. That means I would have to take one every single day. And which I could, but right now there was also an underlying thing of I was going through interviews after interviews, and I kind of thought the long hair stereotypically looked unprofessional. So that was another reason I chopped it off, and I might put 4 more pictures in to replace the 2, but it's like I took these pictures of like basically 360 of my head, that hair went through all of college, an entire pandemic. It deserved to die.
I like the one photo. I don't think they're going to show it because it's kind of silly, but you shaved the one side of your head. Or no, I think both sides and just had the top part.
Yeah, because what we did was, in order to cut it, because we needed to leave the top long and like cut it down to where it is now, we just took it, put it in a unicorn ponytail, and then shaved everything that basically was not like on the crown of my head, and then we let it go, and it dropped, and it just looked like Brian's hairstyle, but smoother.
I liked it. I kind of liked that. That was a huge vibe. It looked very like skateboarder, kind of like rocker.
If I wasn't applying for a job, I probably would have kept it because my mom said we could stop here.
Isn't your job okay with that kind of hairstyle, though?
Well, so here's the thing. People who are there actually have a lot of long hair, including the guys, but...
You can just ponytail it up if you want to look professional. Get the man bun.
I'll probably grow it out right now, but for anyone who's wondering, you're probably not wondering because this is going to go out next week, it is July.
Boy, is it July. It is hot.
It is hot as balls, guys. And Ricky and I come from... Listen, we love everyone. Everyone in the United States has to deal with a different kind of weather system. We have wet, hot, humid weather.
Humidity sucks.
I am wet in my own house.
I'm always moist at some point.
You know what's the grossest thing? And I bet you can agree with this. The underside of your knees, the armpits, and the neck.
Yes.
If anyone is from, like...
It's like napalm. It just sticks to you.
Oh, yeah. And it's like... You know what's the worst thing? Have you ever been, like, playing video games or you've been at your desk all night and you go down to, like, lay in your bed and then, like, any spot that's, like, sweaty now is cooling down because your body's laying out and now you just feel cold wetness?
Yes. Like your foot out of the blankets of the bed is now freezing cold.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, guys, honestly... This comes from a song that I really, really love from Water Park. One of the lyrics says, "Life slows down by 24." And good lord, is that so true. And it's not a bad thing. It just means, like, when you hang out with friends, like in this case, like I think I talked with Ricky, but in a group chat, like, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever you guys get, like, when you're older and you get time with friends, cherish those moments and, like, make the most of them. Don't feel like it has to be extravagant, but, like, really enjoy the moment, because once everyone starts getting independent, financially, medically, however, and truly become a part of the adult club, you don't get that much time because there are obligations and there are, like, many things that you have to take care of. Like, would I love to stay up till 1 a.m. every single night playing with my friends? Yes, but does that mean my job could suffer if I don't get no sleep? Yes. So, there's gives and takes. But I cherish the moments of hanging out with friends now. But, we're not going to be talking about now. We are going to be talking about earlier years.
Like, nice transition, yeah.
So, basically what Ricky and I want to talk about is, obviously, Ricky is a couple years older than me. Not by much, but is older than me. So he has lived through the 90s way more than I have, because I will tell you guys, I was born in the I was born in March, so that's technically the beginning of the calendar year. So, I honestly, though, was born in March 1998, and I can't really remember much before probably elementary school. Like, probably first grade, I can't remember much. So, if we're being honest, that's 2003 to now that I can remember stuff. But anything before it is virtually vicarious history up to now. So, I guess the thing that we can start about is just, Ricky, whenever you want to start a conversation with this, when you think about a lot of like let's just say like 90s to early 2000s nostalgia, what pops into your head first?
You know, for me, when I think of nostalgic things, I think of Dreamcast, the old like Sonic first 3D graphics. Well, not first 3D, but like it was getting good. You know, Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2. Talking about old cartoons on TV, man, like Nickelodeon, Hey Arnold, and stuff like that. Like that invokes a lot of nostalgia for me. Slime Time Live. Oh. You ever have a Tamagotchi?
No, I had a Furby and one of those Robo
Furby! Gosh. Oh, you just awoke in a childhood memory. I forgot what birthday it was. It might have been 6 or 8. All I wanted was a Furby. And it was the last present, which was at a McDonald's back when they allowed you to have birthday parties there with ball pits and all that crazy stuff. And they brought you a cake.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Man.
Gosh, Furby.
You know it's so stupid that I think of when I think of early 2000s and late 90s?
Yeah, what's that?
Targets back in the day with those swirly lights on the walls.
Oh yeah, the blue light special?
No. It was like, here,
I'm
do
thinking
this for me
Kmart.
right
I'm
now.
thinking Kmart.
Go on Google real fast.
Okay.
And type in 90s Targets, and you'll see like these like swirly neon tubes on the walls. For some reason, in my mind,
yes, I remember these.
Mm-hmm.
That looks so cool.
Well, here, do this. Do 90s Target compared to like 2020 Target.
That's just gonna be modern, hipstery, and boring. Let me see.
All white.
Ugh.
All white.
Sterile.
See, here's the thing. Just speaking on this, by the way, little side thing. For anyone who's worried right now about everything becoming super boring and flat, it's an ebb and flow. Trust me. People are going to start getting to the point where they want, like, the 80s, 90s hyper detailed look again. Like, if anyone remembers, like, the first iPhone and how crazy those icons looked back in the day,
yes.
Trust me, we might go back to something like that. But right now, especially with the way everything is currently, where everything's so expensive. The more minimal it is, the better, money-wise. So that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think of like Target. I think another thing. This is gonna probably show my age. When I was young, it was like Code Lyoko, Jimmy Neutron, Rocket Power, Kim Possible, Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like I think it was like. I don't remember the exact Scooby-Doo show. It was What's New Scooby-Doo? That was the specific version of the show I watched as a kid. 2002.
You remember Martin Mystery?
Martin, wasn't that the blonde dude?
Yeah, he had a Guy Fieri like t-shirt on, and he had a caveman and an annoying sister, and they'd solve crimes. The show was kind of like, at least the first half was always like, okay, whatever, but the last half of the shows where all the budget would go into, and then like a giant monster would chase them.
You know that show? I kind of wish that show touched more into like, did you ever watch around the time when Ben 10 Alien Force was out, Generator Rex?
I think so. I've around there is when I stopped watching TV. I had my edgy teenager phase of like, TV sucks, you know. But I do remember that show was pretty cool.
I wish... Okay, and here's the thing I'll say. Generator Rex had some dark imagery. Like, they really treaded that line of PG-13 sometimes, and I wish that show got on Adult Swim.
Whoa, but this show looks cool.
But I wish Martin Mystery and the way it looks, I wish it was a more mature, like mystery show. But it was made by the same people that made Totally Spies, so I highly doubt it was probably ever going to reach that level of like seriousness. God, Totally Spies, that's old. So,
I love Totally Spies. I'd watch that like crazy.
That was kind of like the kids show of like Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, it was Charlie's Angels meets with what other show was that?
like James Bond.
Yes, James Bond. It was a movie, not a show. And then they had a crossover with Martin Mister, didn't they?
Yes.
That was awesome. I remember Megas XLR. That was a cool show. Gosh.
Oh, no, I don't think you're gonna know.
Not try me.
God, is that what the show's called? Give me a sec. Like Ace Hawks or whatever. That show. Give me a second, I can find it. It's a Cartoon Network show. I think it was, actually. I'm not sure.
Ace Hawks?
What was it called? Oh, Stormhawks.
Stormhawks.
Here, let me send you the picture. You might know it. This show was
What
not on TV.
is this? No, is this Oh wait, I remember him. Hold on. Very vaguely remember this.
This show was not on TV for very long.
What was it on? Nickelodeon?
Let's see. Stormhawks channel. Stormhawks was originally on
Nickelodeon. In Canada, at least. Oh, it was on Cartoon Network in the United States. Okay.
Yeah.
2007. Wow, you remember the most random... Like, I don't remember this at all. It looks alright.
Well, you have to remember, like I said, I became cognizant, and like a lot of the things I started to remember was 2003 and onward. And then what? 2010 was when I discovered YouTube. And then 2013 is when I started YouTube. So, yeah.
You remember the Hot Wheel movies?
Some of them were cringe. Do you remember the one show where like they'd always launch out of the garage, go around a loop, and then like they'd blast off a ramp into a portal?
Yeah. I think that was the Acceleracers 2 or something. I remember the first movie, which was horrible cringe. Although it's like nostalgic just in general, but
to a little kid,
that was so cool.
And like that's like the coolest thing in the world. But as an adult, you're like, oh, I can see all the mistakes.
Is so just like corny, like you better watch out, dude. You know, it's just super like over the top.
It's just they're doing it so hard. But yeah, I think about that. I also, you know, it's funny. Whenever I think about like back in the day before a lot of smartphones came out, the phone, everyone. It's so hard not to swear. It is
hard. I'm pretty sure I have without knowing.
Back in the day, before iPhones came out, Android was like the king of phones, and one of the Android phones that was out at the time was a BlackBerry. You don't know how much I wanted a BlackBerry phone.
Blackberries were cool. I always wanted one. Honestly, I didn't really want phones until BlackBerry. I'm like, wow, phones are kind of cool.
You know, BlackBerry still makes phones, right?
Really?
Search up BlackBerry Keynote.
Okay.
And this is an actual phone. I'm not joshing you.
Let me see this. Oh, I like that.
It is a smartphone with a physical keyboard.
Limited edition black. Well, okay, $493, but hey.
Yeah, it's still smartphone price.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want one, you can get one.
But you know what's funny? This thing runs on like a hybrid of Samsung and LG.
Really?
It's weird.
Samsung OS, I'm assuming.
God, let's see. What did the BlackBerry Keynote OS? BlackBerry Keynote BlackBerry Key 1 was on the. It was just it was the Key. They literally called it. It was off the Android smartphone system. It was called the Key 1, like with smaller text. OS. So they made their own OS, but they carry some things on Samsung. Like, I don't know if on your phone, Ricky, you have it, but it's that little like kind of translucent tab where if you drag from the right, you bring it with that little like sidebar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I'm trying to think, what else like do I personally think of when I think of like younger years? Ooh, well, I don't know if that's necessarily like me thinking of younger years. but a lot of like the really cringy meme songs, like the hamster song,
Which is literally just from Robin Hood, actually. I found out recently. It's the intro song to Robin Hood.
and then there's also like Crazy Frog,
Yep.
Gummy Bear.
Remember slap bracelets too? I just randomly remembered that.
I want to say something. Do you already know where I'm going with it?
What were you slapping with the slap bracelets?
I did that. I did that when I was a little kid.
Oh my god.
Early versions of the O-rings, if you guys know what I mean.
Oh my, shut up.
So you know it was really bad? I don't know what they were ever called, but you know those things that were like those, they were like filled with like water or whatever, sometimes there were like fish or stuff inside of them, and like they would like glide through your hands because they would just fold in on themselves.
What? I don't know if I know that.
Let me see if I can find it.
I know I was obsessed with those transparent Macs.
Jumbo shark. Oh, search up a water snake wiggler.
Gosh, what are you about to show me? I feel like it's about to get us banned from the podcasting world. Okay, Jake. Listen. I already know where you're going with this.
Hey, I never did it, but I know people that did do it, and I said they were nasty.
That is nasty.
I don't know. I don't know when adult toys that much actually became a thing. I literally don't.
Ricky, I want to keep the podcast squeaky clean in case someone at my job finds it. But let's talk about water snake wigglers real quick.
Hey, I didn't say anything.
I'm just allegedly.
Where's your dirty mind going?
Listen, if you want to wear it as a bracelet, that's fine.
Actually, you know what's funny is I do think when I was younger, like my hand, like I don't know why. In high school, my body exploded, and like height and my hands grew into Jack Skellington fingers. But I remember when I was younger, when I was little, I would actually like put my hand through it. It was like the coolest experience. But now, if I try to do that, my hand will just like crunch up inside of it. But yeah, I think like visually that's like a broad spectrum. I think though when I was younger, you want to know what was like a defining kids movie for me in the 90s?
Spy Kids?
No. Monsters Incorporated.
90s? I think it was 2000s.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
Monsters Inc. was pretty good though.
God, when did that come out?
2003, 2002, I'm going to assume and guess. Maybe
2001.
2001. I was close. Well, first initial guesses.
What are like 1990s? Probably like a lot of the Renaissance ones.
Yeah.
I'd be like, God, probably like Pinocchio, The Little Mermaid,
Aladdin. Goofy movie?
When did? Oh yeah, probably all of it. Probably most of them. Lion King. Probably The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Beauty and the Beast. Did Halloween Town count as a? It did. It appeared on Disney.
Mighty Ducks. Remember that? Aladdin. The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, I have one.
Hocus Pocus.
What was the show? What was the movie called? Like Xenon?
Xenon?
Yeah. I think that's what it was called. Give me a second.
The Lion King. Can't forget that.
Smart House?
Oh, it was Smart House. That was 2000s though, right?
No, that was
a straight to... Wasn't that straight to Disney Channel though?
That was 1999.
Oh wow.
The 13th year. That was the one where the kid turns into like like a merman.
I'm pretty sure Smart House was premiered on Disney Channel.
Oh, it was.
I remember when they did original movies for Disney Channel. It was remember Tarzan?
What, like, well, actually, you know what's funny? Disney, back around the time when Kingdom Hearts 1 was coming out, and it's the reason why Tarzan has never showed up in another Kingdom Hearts game, is because the original creator and the author that gave Disney the rights to Tarzan, hated that they put Tarzan in Kingdom Hearts.
Really?
Escape to Witch Mountain. Halloween Town. God, Halloween Town was 1998. The original. Oh my god.
That was a good movie.
The first three were good.
Yeah.
The one where she went to college and there was a completely new actress.
No.
Didn't work for me.
I watched RoboCop 3 recently. The first two, pretty good. Second one, not as good as the first, but 3 was horrible.
Did you hear that they're making Hocus Pocus 2?
I don't know how that's gonna be. I feel like people don't really love Hocus Pocus will probably love it, but like I'm a little afraid that it's gonna be like cringe.
Well, I mean, it was already cringe to begin with because it's outdated witches in like an outdated world.
Yeah, it's fair.
But
I feel like it's gonna be like, oh, what's a smartphone?
Well,
I'm on Tinder. Ooh, dumb stuff like that.
I don't want to josh a movie before I see it because I used to do that a lot and I missed out on a ton of movies.
I'm still going to watch it, don't get me wrong.
I don't know if this is a movie. Maybe a bunch of like do you remember this? It was the
robots?
Yeah, it was like the Rescuers Down Under. It was just a bunch of rats and everything.
That was a good movie.
Like mice. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. My movie knowledge is kind of dated.
You all remember Flubber? Kangaroo Jack?
God, Kangaroo Jack. Oh my god, the live action version of that movie slaps.
That and Good Burger, I just think of the 2000s.
White Castle.
Good Burger. Oh my gosh, Harold and Kumar.
That movie would not do good in the world's political climate today.
No, not at all. There's a lot of shows back then that I'd argue, like, if they brought it back now, like, yes, we want more seasons or movies of it, but then you, like, realize no one would watch it and it would get canceled.
By the way, you know what I found out yesterday that I never noticed on myself until a couple days ago?
What?
I have stretch marks on my knees.
Oh my.
And I never knew about it. Because like whenever I play video games for whatever reason, I'm like in that like my knees are like, no, they're not crossed, they're like pulled up.
Oh.
So the skin's extended. But yeah, I found out I have stretch marks on my knees, and it's like I grew a lot from freshman year to sophomore year, and my body's riddled with stretch marks, and it looks cool.
It's pretty rad.
Except when you like itch them and your finger like snags it a little bit, you're like, oh god, that feels weird.
A little cringe moment.
Gosh, I guess going away from movies though, I can talk about oh god, this is gonna hurt me so much. Thinking about like Britney Spears, like Hit Me Baby One More Time, that coming out early on.
Backstreet Boys.
NSYNC.
Yep. NSYNC.
Eminem.
Eminem was huge in the late 90s.
I think it's because in the late 90s, that's when like, God, I want to say that the younger Gen X and probably like you and my sisters, like in the like early millennials / like middle millennials, like growing up listening to that music, really probably just popularized it. Though nowadays, I'm gonna be completely honest, Eminem wasn't kind of what I considered the stereotype when it comes to rapping.
Right.
Because he actually brought up like issues in the songs that he did.
Oh yeah, all the time.
But now rapping is just like, this is honest. This is anything that should surprise people. Drugs, sex, and money. That is all you'll hear about in rap songs now.
Yeah, Eminem's songs, like, he would have it in there as a joke, but moreover, his songs were always about how he doesn't like censorship, or how he just wants to, I don't know, talk about how messed up the music industry is.
Okay, here's the thing, guys. I'm not a big rap person.
Clearly.
But there are, like, definitively a few songs that you should listen to from Godzilla. Not Godzilla, sorry.
Godzilla, dang. Godzilla about to lay down a diss track towards Mothra?
No, Godzilla is actually a new artist that came out. He does rap.
Okay.
But there's Rap God by Eminem. There is The Real Slim Shady. As stupid as that song is, it has a great message in it.
Oh, I forgot Eminem made a song called Godzilla. I remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah, he also did make a song with Juice WRLD, who
rest in peace.
I know. That man made such good music.
How did he pass?
Let's see. I can actually look real fast. Let's see. Juice WRLD. Let's see. I hate just like typing in death into Google sometimes.
Died.
He died in Chicago. Cause of death. Now, unknown medical emergency after landing. He OD'd.
That's unfortunate.
Also, this is not, by the way, this is only 8 years ago, so this does not count as like a 90s to 2000s song. Eminem featuring Rihanna, the Monster.
That was
iconic.
A good one. Yes.
I will say this, by the way, it doesn't really pertain to the 90s and 2000s trend that we're on right now. But I'll honestly say, so late 90s, like 1995 to like 2001 or 2, some of the most iconic songs came out. Then during like the middle 2000s, there were like some hits, but like a big lull in music. Like 2009 to like probably 2013, great musics. And now I feel like we're kind of in a lull again. But there's all these newer artists with Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, YouTube that are like getting discovered now, and I feel like we're starting to get like a bunch of new artists, and we're gonna start going on that. We're gonna get so much good music thrown at us, we're not even gonna know what to do with all of it. And I'm so excited for that. I can't think of any other Eminem songs personally. But I did want to discuss this because I thought this would be kind of fascinating to talk about.
What's that?
Okay, so we always know, like, when we grow up, we are like, we always talk about this. I never want to grow up because the times that I'm experiencing now, I want to have forever.
Right.
But do you, in many ways, even with a lot of the hardships that you face now, later in life, and with the way the world's changed, ebbs and flows, would you still want to go back to that time as you are now? But you're literally like, boom, you're dropped in that time, at the age you are, and you would have to essentially try to reconnect, you'd have to live through all the technical advances again and come back to this point. By, that time.
Well, you'd be old.
Yeah, and it's just like, personally for me, as much as the world is dark right now, and we think about all like the colorful 90s and 2000s, there's so much of creative good and loud voices on both ends that nowadays is stirring up a lot of discussion and is also getting people out to do stuff that in the early 2000s didn't really happen, because Actually, it's an audio clip that I want to play, and actually, I want to see if you will agree with this, Ricky, or if you'll disagree with this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can. Okay, I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna play the whole thing. It's just a minute, but I want to get your thoughts.
Okay.
Pull it up. Okay.
You don't know this? I was born in 97. Okay, but still.
So a common pattern I keep seeing on TikTok with Gen Z is they don't seem to know anything that happened before they're born. They don't really know about pop culture or music or movies or anything before they were born. And I'm just wondering and asking them, why is that? Being a millennial and only one generation above you, I knew so much that happened in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and pop culture and music and movies, and I would watch stuff with my parents, and then like they would talk about major events that happened. So like I'm wondering like what was happened with you guys? Did your parents not talk about stuff? Did you guys like not have family dinners? Did your parents not play their music or show you
I have an answer, and it is only from my experience.
Mm-hmm.
So Gen Z started in 1997. Like the mid 90s to now is the biggest technological boom in like ever.
Yeah, technology is rapidly changing.
But here's the thing: a lot of times Gen Z is like this, and I can say for myself because I'm the earliest version, and I'm essentially like a pseudo, and I swear to God, this is a real classification, a zillennial.
A zillennial.
Where it's like, I don't fit in with millennials. I don't fit in with the end spectrum of Gen Z. I am smack dab hybrid in the middle. And for me, I grew up in a time where I didn't care about the past. I didn't care about shows that weren't in color. I didn't care about real life TV. All I cared about was playing on my PlayStation 2, enjoying my computer, and like the occasional playing on a cell phone or something. My generation didn't care about the past. We were always looking towards the future. We were always looking towards technology. We were looking towards playing with our friends, and we were looking to get away from school. And I feel like that has happened even more, as now it's like I'm chatting with you on a computer that's in the body of a tablet, which if you showed someone back in the 90s, their head would explode.
Oh yeah, all they had was a PDA, I think.
Yeah. Oh my god. Talk about dinosaur technology now.
Yeah. Well,
but what would your take on that be?
My take on what? Just wasting your time on technology?
Well, yes, because that woman's argument was asking us like question, because what was brought up in that, and you might know about this, was something that I don't even know about that was called Y2K. Which
I remember, yes, I vaguely remember Y2K. Everyone was worried that technology was just going to be obsolete once Y2K hit, because I guess once certain computers or whatever hit a certain date on the clock, which was 2000, it would just be obsolete and be broken, was the theory, and that everything was going to shut down, and electronics going to be trusted.
Well, what did the acronym actually mean?
Y2K?
Yeah.
Year 2000.
Oh, it literally just meant the year 2000, and they just thought technology was just gonna...
Well, yeah, because like a lot of computers in the 80s and late 80s, early 90s, the year 2000 was just so far away, and they just set it as like the, oh yeah, this is when it like caps off kind of thing. And it was getting to that point where it's like, oh shit, one more year, it's gonna be 2000. What's gonna happen? And then everyone thought the world was gonna end, and then nukes were gonna go off, and all this shit. Not at all the case. I believe it just rolled over, or just said error, and just worked as normal. But yeah, literally everyone was convinced that like things were just gonna go down. And the grids, anything.
And, you know, it happened, and then
Everything's fine.
everything's fine. I got asked that question once, though, and I was like, I don't know what that means. Because in the grand scheme of things, I honestly feel like, and this is where it's going to get a little bit dark, but this does kind of pertain to the late 90s, early 2000s, and kind of the reason why the U.S. is a little bit in a stir right now, because of laws that were made back then. For anyone who doesn't know this, whether you just are younger, it never has really been a thing that you really want to talk about because there was a lot of death. The fable thing that you will hear on the History Channel year-round, and the most conspiracy theories about it ever, is 9/11. Which, for anyone who doesn't know, that is September 11th, 2001. That is when the original 2 versions of the World Trade Center in New York City got hit on Manhattan Island. If you are younger, you probably only know of the one World Trade Center. But if you ever look on a map, just humor me for a second, everyone that's listening. Open your Google Maps, your Apple iOS Maps, open up anything to where you can get a map app open. Google Twin Tower Memorial, and most likely you're going to see 2 big squares still, you know, in a spot next to the current World Trade Center. Those 2 spots were where the original towers were. Sadly, they did go down because 2 planes from back in the day, it was a terrorist attack, and it, you know, took the buildings down with them. As well as many lives were lost, and that was a very, very dark day on live television. Which a lot of, you know, Ricky, now that I think about it, there's not a lot like live television anymore. If it's anything, it's live, but it's like Bob telling you the news about your local supermarket alligator.
Right.
It's not like a reporter risking their lives on the street of Manhattan recording as the Twin Towers go down. But I have been fortunate enough to live in an area where ever since I was, like, conceived, schools in my area have had, you know, locks on the school doors, security is at an all-time high, privacy was a big thing, keep your friends close, always chat, make sure they're okay. That's why I do that as I am now. And it's kind of crazy to think about how when people say this, and this is a dark part of the podcast that like kind of ended off, but it is food for thought given the circumstances of the world right now. With like Y2K and everything back then, thinking things were going to shut down, people were going to lose everything. People learned something that I kind of want a cultural reset on, only in this factor. So, for anyone who's growing up, you know, you have a smartphone, you have your terms of service, you have all this stuff that most people don't look at. We are in an area where, back in the day when you had a phone, you know, that phone, you know, wireless calls charged by the minute. Yeah, you know, now everyone's on unlimited plans. Your phone is a computer, and you're essentially volunteering yourself to be tracked by the government all the time, every single day. I always tell people this, and this is coming from someone who's been in college, has friends in the field of like criminology, cybersecurity. A lot of people actually had to study a lot of the like stuff and why the United States back in 2001 had like, you know, a lot of the stuff happen with 9/11. And people, by the way, if you don't know this, back in the day, TSA was not as strict as it is now.
No, not at all.
When you go through TSA now, you're getting pat down, metal detectors. That is all because, as annoying and crazy and sometimes extreme as it can be, that is to ensure when your butt gets on that plane, it can get off that plane safely. because back in the day, before that happened, America was laxed. Very laxed. And nowadays, America and the entire world got laxed. Hygiene was down. Like social was up. Things that were getting put on the internet were crazy. And now we are kind of in this weird state of drama channels are dying out. At this point, they're laughing stocks. Drama from like the beauty world, no one cares about that anymore. You can act like you didn't know about the beauty world in the last few years. You'd be lying. And just generally, everyone is kind of done. I say that kindly. Everyone is done. Everyone just wants to hang out, do what they want, and the reset of anonymity that people want on the internet is kind of reset, where if you wouldn't say it in public, out loud to people, you shouldn't say it on the internet.
Right.
So that ultimately, again, is a big reason why it's like I got rid of the other episode podcast. We're redoing this. Things are a lot safer, a lot calmer, and a bit more family friendly to understand. And another reason why I do this is because, Ricky, you had, I want to say, like, without giving many details, you had a harsher childhood than I had. But you also, I think, grew a lot more from it, like faster, more mature.
Thank you.
Whereas, like, for me, I'm gonna be honest, I am a silver spoon in mouth with diamonds on it child. But I've tried to grow from it, and I think I have. I still have much to do, and I want to be a lot smarter politics-wise, money-wise, taxes, all of it. I do want to become smarter in that, and that's what I kind of want to take these next 2 years to do. But people, I say this, as coming from two people, and maybe Ricky can back me up on this, right now, just as if when your parents were telling you when you were growing up, if you have nothing nice to say, if it's not an educated argument, or if it is not something that you would say in public without knowing that you were going to get in trouble,
Say nothing at all.
don't put it on the internet.
Yep. Not at all.
Trust me. Oh, go ahead, Ricky.
I'm trying not to go into another tangent because I know we're trying to wind down. I just think the era of 2010, around 2010, we were warned of this, and that's that you're not going to be anonymous on the internet forever. Once it becomes more mainstream, people are going to crack down on it, and we're at that point now. As of this podcast being recorded, I think 4chan's shutting down in September.
What?
Yes. So anonymity, they're trying to get rid of that now.
Oh god.
Basically, you have to be careful now more than ever what you say online, unless you're using things like the dark web or whatever, which I'm not even going to bother to mess with because I don't know.
That's a can of worms.
Yeah, all I do is record a dumb podcast. I go on YouTube. I watch YouTube. I don't need to be on the dark web. I'm good.
No, and even then, it's like, here's the thing. I don't think the original episode of the podcast was really that bad. Ricky and I were excited. We were doing all this stuff. YouTube personality stuff. But as I've grown up, and God, I've watched so many old videos of like live streams and stuff that I haven't deleted yet of just bad stuff back in the day that was said. Your data, maybe not the video itself, but the data, the pictures, the coded links to all of your history that you post on the internet, it's there.
Oh yeah.
And
everything you've deleted, it stays up there.
And it really is one of those things where if you don't have anything nice to say, obviously you're a human being, things are gonna slip. Some people deserve to be punched in the teeth.
Yes, a lot.
One of the things that I've learned as I've grown from the sheltered kid living in the early 2000s to the emo kid that was going through high school to the person that was rediscovering himself to where he is now, keep things close to the chest. Defend yourself if you have to defend yourself. And this is gonna be the only explicit thing I'll say in the podcast. Punch a dickhead in the dick. Because sometimes people need it.
Yeah.
And I want all of you guys to stay safe, because we are also, without going into it again to save face, we are in a time of, yeah, I can't say for the rest of the world, I'm not educated in the rest of the world, Sally. The United States is currently not playing well with each other. So right now, when you see this, if you're in high school right now, like, you just hit 18 and you're preparing to go into the college world, watch what you say. Don't post your campus much online, especially if you're staying on campus, by the way.
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised from just one angle. Especially if there's a window, they'll find out what floor you're on. It's horrible.
Don't, like, just please, oh my god, be so safe. There are so many horror stories that, like, just in our interpersonal group that Ricky and I have, so many stories of just bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone who has grown up in a time where people, especially right now, doxing is very high, violence in the United States is really high, and your internet footprint is as big as the entire state, be safe. Because this is coming from two people who have grown up through the internet boom and have seen the amazing good and the scary, scary dark stuff. Be safe, be careful about what you post on the internet, because, what people can do with your data is, oh boy. So, trust me, when I say this, this is coming from two people who are not, we're not, our backs hurt all the time and can't get out of bed without going,
oh, we're so old.
But, like, I mean, just for example, I've had stalkers. Back when I went to my community college, well, not me, I shouldn't say me, but I helped stop one. One of my friends, who I'm no longer friends with, but they're a great person, they just went to a different, university, and, you kind of fall out from there if you don't hang out too long, like how I hang out with my friend, like, Santiago or Alec, strong relationships with them, but, when, friends leave, especially, like, when you graduate high school, and you're, like, all the mutuals that you had in high school, and then you realize, like, oh, I only have, like, maybe one or two actual people that I left high school with that I'm, like, solid friends with. Even that can be tested.
Yep.
Sadly, for anyone wondering, in the past 2 years, I did lose one really close friend that I had for, like, 10 years. But I have since made so many other friends, like Ricky I made. Believe it or not, Ricky and I are 4 years away from knowing each other for a decade.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah. My friend Abby I'm still friends with, and she's thriving. She's a psychology major. And even she's talked about how it's like right now, during this time, your mental health, staying off the internet as much as you can while still being informed, even if it's not the most fun to be informed about the bad stuff, be informed. Make sure what you put on the internet is reserved, if that's the best way to say it. And just be conscious about what you put on the internet, because I kind of regret some of the stuff I put online, and that's why I got rid of it. Also, I got rid of it because YouTube was kind of shady with their is this for children, is this not for children stuff, and I might have freaked out not wanting to get sued for $100,000 per video that wasn't marked not for children.
They really made it sound like any video that somewhat seemed like it's for kids, you'd just be sued for $1,000 per video. They were very vague about that. I wish we had waited, but maybe it was for the best.
Well, do you remember the amount of Minecraft videos I had?
So much.
Minecraft is for kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if Portal is for kids, but I also played like Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. That's for kids.
I could see YouTube marking that for kids, though.
That is true. Because there's really not, like, there's sassy stuff from, like, GLaDOS and everything, but there's not really explicit content in Portal.
No.
Portal's rated T. I think it's even, actually, I don't know what Portal's rated, but it's not bad. But, to slowly wrap this up, guys, I do promise this version of the podcast will have an episode 2.
Let's hope. Oh, so this is episode 1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is episode 1. Trust me, I originally privated the old episode. It is gone. So trust me, Ricky and I will plan a day, probably sometime next month in, oh my god, August. This year's going by real fast. We'll probably plan one for August, and I said this, Ricky, even like to myself before I sent you those voice messages earlier today about just planning this. I think how we're doing the podcast now, or maybe 1 or 2 videos a month, depending on our free time, and depending on like if you come up with a topic that you don't think works for your podcast, but you're like, ooh, could we record this sooner than like waiting for the next month? I think this is so perfect about having podcast episodes starting to roll out before most colleges start, which is in August, because this will give students, and this will give like people maybe going into college, starting another semester, or even leaving college, something to listen to, because again, semesters start in August, so I think this will be so great if you're in your dorms, if you're at home, or heck, if you're even just on campus and you're trying to block out the noise of everyone while you type on your computer. We are here, and while this first episode was on 90s topics, if between now and the next episode, if Ricky or I come up with a general subject matter, or if we get comments on this video for topics that we can cover, note, we will not be ever covering 3 kinds of topics. I will cover money, but I will cover money in the like sort of roughly educated how you should spend money sort of deal.
Yeah.
We will not talk about religion. We are not going to talk about politics. If we do, we will talk about it only if it is very applicable to the conversation, and even then, it will be minor. If you guys want a politics-driven podcast, I'm pretty sure I can direct you guys to one. And then the only other third topic that I don't really feel comfortable right now in the current climate to talk about is anything LGBTQ culture, because that world is very sort of heated right now. Not toxic wise, inner of themselves, just the world right now is very on it with some current affairs. So we'll play things by ear. We don't ever want to talk about anything that's going to potentially be in bad taste in a couple months from now. It probably will be. We're human. We can't do anything. But that is the idea. And if you guys do come up with topics, Ricky, I don't know if you want to let people do this, but if you guys want, maybe you can send Ricky a DM on Twitter. You can send me one on Instagram or Twitter, or if you want to, you can put it in the YouTube comments, and I will read them. I'll consider them, and if something comes up, we will do that. But I think that will be it for this episode. Again, the end card should be popping up soon. Make sure to head over to Ricky's channel. I'll post that here, and I will also, in the description, post a link to his channel and the very first stream episode, as well as I will put both my Instagram and my Twitter in the YouTube description, so you guys can come check me out. I'm very active on Instagram. I always am posting on my stories, and if you also want to follow Ricky's Instagram, I'll put that below as well. Ricky also posts a lot of music on Instagram.
Yes.
Also with like crazy psychedelic. Imagine watching one of your. I don't know if I should say this. Imagine watching one of your music Instagram videos high.
Oh wow, that would be a trip.
I want to experience that at least once. I might do that next time I can ever, do it. I'm worried because for anyone who doesn't know, when you get into the adult world, some jobs, depending on the severity, might require a drug test, and some like to do pop-up drug tests. Oh, it's scary. But yeah, that is it. Feel free, follow Ricky and I on all our other social medias. Go check out Ricky's YouTube channel. And again, don't be afraid. Send us comments. We don't bite. We swear.
Not too hard.
Well, Ricky is a fox. Sharp teeth.
Yeah.
But we promise, guys, there will be a second episode. And I already have a vague idea for the next episode if we don't get comments in between this. And I honestly think it is going to be talking about probably, I think the earliest you can go to school is pre-K through preschool. I kind of want to talk about like elementary school to college, because I think that would be really cool to talk about. Especially if you're a sibling, you have a younger sibling getting ready to go to elementary school, understand still a lot of modern things and check bullying, hold schools accountable, how to manage yourself during college. I think that would be great, but I will see how I feel roughly next month when Ricky and I potentially find the time to record again. And I think that's it. So, we will see you guys later. I hope you all have a great summer, and we'll give you guys updates. We're always going to do an icebreaker at the beginning of the episode, so let's hope nothing crazy happens between now and then.
Yes,
Okay.
please, nothing crazy.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye.
Hey guys, it's Post Editing Jake here, my little avatar. How you guys doing? I just want to let you guys know, because I really do want to give more attention to this. Ricky is doing streams on his channel at a fairly consistent rate right now, and if you guys want to, there are a couple streams already up there that you guys can go and get to learn more of his personality, get to say hi on his videos, and get to interact with him a little bit more than you do in this, since I feel like Middleton Nighttime Broadcast is a fairly fast-paced podcast, given the fact that we are really trying to keep it within an hour, maybe a little bit over sometimes. So yeah, but I'm gonna place some cards at the top of the video here, and one will lead to my channel, one will lead to Ricky's. Go give him some love, as well as if the link doesn't work for you guys, you can check out my channel and his channel will be there. So yep, that's it. Bye guys.